Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Kent Tilley, and today I want to share with you an idea that I had the other night that I was thinking about that could probably help both parents and children. And I mean, this isn't going to work in every case for sure, but something that I was thinking about that I thought I would at least just sort of share the basic principle behind it. Read a lot lately about what is called the bank of mom and dad, and how so many children are having to tap into the bank of mom and dad to get into that first house because, you know, the down payments and the mortgage payments are so expensive and life is so expensive. You know, one thing that I've talked about a little bit on the channel is, you know, if you know that your retirement plan is steady and you have more than enough money, and eventually that's going to be passed down to your children in a large inheritance. One idea is to potentially pass on some of this money a little bit earlier and gifting the inheritance to your children a little bit earlier in order to help them out. Now, there's going to be a lot more Canadians in a position where maybe they're okay for retirement, however, they don't have enough money to actually pass it down per se to their children before they pass away, because they need what they have to actually retire. Now, if you're retired, you know that maybe you don't have that money to actually pass down, but you would like to help your children out. There is probably a pretty good chance that your children have accumulated some amount of debt over the course of, you know, their 30s or whatever. Really expensive decade for people, and you know, having kids, only one person working, getting into that new house, not earning as much quite yet, whatever that might be, and they could have $50,000 in debt completely on a credit card they're paying at 20%, or, you know, a combination of a line of credit and credit cards and other things. So one idea I had was, why don't you become their bank and offer them an actual loan to pay down this higher interest debt that they might have, where you say, okay, you know, I'm going to give you the $50,000, but instead of you paying an average of 12% in interest, which is costing you $6,000 a year, I'm going to charge you 6% on that loan, which basically entitles you to a 6% rate of return on your investment, and they are getting a cut. So it's sort of a win-win for both, where you know that, you know, you're watching your investment accounts, no matter what they're in, sort of drop or lose money to inflation or whatever else, or some money sitting there in a bank account doing nothing. Well, you could actually have a conversation with them about this. Now, I know that having a conversation with your family members about money is tough, and I also know that if you're trying to do this without professional help, it could come back to haunt you because you might do it wrong. You might take money out of the wrong place and pay too much tax getting it out of an RSP or some other version of that. So if this is like a potential agenda item for you, what I would do is I would have a conversation with your kids about this as an idea. Are you open to it? Are they open to it? And if that's the case, I think this might actually be a perfect example of where you could hire us to do a one-time $500 financial plan based on just this for you guys. And we could make sure that your retirement plan isn't going to fail if you do this, where you could get the money to actually lend this to your children, what percentage you should lend them the money at compared to, you know, what you could be getting elsewhere. And we would help you organize this in, you know, a couple hours and a little bit of a summary email that says, you know, this is how I would do it, and you could have it written down on a piece of paper. So just a thought out there. I thought it could help. I love the idea of getting some extra business away from the banks and the credit card companies who are just jacking interest up and not really giving us the loans that we need just making sure that we're going further and further into debt by increasing our worst credit lines and worst credit cards and not giving us lower interest rates on some of the debt that we've accumulated over the years. So just a thought. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you want to learn more about our services and how this could work for you, just email us at info@k4financial.ca. We'd be happy to answer your questions. Thanks again for watching.